Golfers, welcome back to the channel. Today what we're going to discuss is 3 simple putting tips that can help you hole more putts if you're putting over the future weeks. A lot of golfers who position the golf ball too far back in their stance, so baseline's pretty much just left of centre. What we see is a lot of golfers who play the golf ball a little bit too far back in their stance, almost favouring the back of their stance. So what that does from there, when we place the golf ball a little bit too far back in our stance, many people who leave the ball short of the hole, ball jumps up off the top of the surface, the tendency is you could be coming in with the club face a little bit too closed, the loft a little bit too reduced to impact. So what I want you to do, if you're this golfer, just find a baseline ball position. That's going to be dependent on if you hit down on putts or hit up on putts. So it's important to find a baseline. So it's important to find an optimal ball position, and the easiest way to experiment doing this is try different ball positions. Move the ball further forward if you leave the ball short of the hole. Also, if you're the other end of the spectrum where you hit the ball too far past the hole, just move it back a fraction, just to experiment, just to see what's optimal ball position. But when you set up to the golf ball, just start with your feet together. So we're going to build a routine that's going to obviously facilitate our putting stroke being in a better position. So start with your feet together. What we're going to do from here is we're going to move our left foot forward, right foot back. So we're moving both feet kind of equidistant. And what we're going to do from there is the ball position should just pretty much be underneath my left eye. So the ball position should pretty much just sit briefly under my left eye. We see a lot of golfers should get the ball position too far back. People get the ball position too far back, the handle leaning too far ahead. The loft reduces, and the tendency from there is the ball just kind of shoots into the ground. So what you're doing that is start with your feet together, build a stance around that. Just try and feel like the ball position is a little bit more underneath your left eye. Obviously this will be dependent on what suits you, and that's going to help you hit slightly more up on putts. So just move the ball slightly further forward. It's the simplest tip that you can advocate within your practice. If it's too far back, the tendency is the ball is going to shoot into the ground first. When you move it forward, just gives the ball a bit more chance of rolling first as opposed to jumping up and create too much spin. So the second issue I see on a regular basis is based around forearm alignment, shoulder alignment, and also hand position. And basically what happens is there's a big disconnection between both elbows and the sides of our rib cage. What we want with our punch stroke is a little bit of symmetry. What that means is everything needs to line up in correspondence with the target we're going towards. We see kind of a couple of issues regularly on the list from a down the line perspective. We see a lot of golfers who kind of get their forearms pointing a little bit too much to the right. That can encourage an in-to-out path. Vice versa, one of the common things we see, so I'll align their shoulders a little bit too far to the left. Way to detect is if you put your right hand on the club, if you can see from the camera angle here, you can actually see the top of my left hand from there. So my right arm's too stretched out, there's not a lot of bend in my right arm. As you can see from a down the line perspective, my forearms are aiming left, my shoulders are aiming to the left. And this is going to encourage an out-to-in path, depending obviously how you match up the face to the path you're swinging on. So the other end of the spectrum, if you struggle with pushing putts, the tendency is that right elbow could be a little bit too much tucked behind the left elbow. From there, shoulders are aiming to the right, forearms are aiming to the right. If you're that golfer who struggles with shoulder alignment, forearm alignment, simple process to go through. When you put the club in front of you, so the club face is pretty much matching the middle of your spine. And what we're going to do from there is, if you're somebody that gets excessively face opening or closing, just try and get the leading edge of the club flush with the angle of your spine. You're going to stretch both arms out in front of you, so both arms are nice and straight from a kind of down the line perspective. And what you're going to try and do from there is you're just going to fold both elbows in, so both elbows pretty much touch the front of your rib cage. So both elbows are touching the front of the rib cage. We're not pulling the elbows back because that kind of shortens the shoulder joint. What we're going to do from there is just put arms out in front of you, and you're trying to get both elbows into the side of your rib cage. Then the club out in front of you, club face matching angle of your spine. Pull your elbows in, so your top of your elbows are pretty much hitting the front of your rib cage. What that's going to do from there is it's just going to keep everything a little bit more symmetrical, a little bit more connected, and your elbows will feel really tight to the side of your rib cage. And to facilitate that movement, so this is issue number 3 I see, as a lot of people when they set up to the golf ball, as they'll kind of just use their wrists quite a lot, where the kind of club hinges back then rehinges on the way through, struggle with distance control and also strike. So obviously coupled by this kind of analogy of elbows into the front of your rib cage, what we're going to do from there is when we set up to the golf ball, we're going to try and get the middle of our chest pretty much over the top of the golf ball. So obviously ball position slightly further forward. We're going to create more of a kind of square club face, so it's matching angle on my spine. Both elbows into the side of your kind of front of your rib cage. So don't really pull the elbows in, just let the elbows fold slightly so they're nice and relaxed. If we tense up the tenses, we're not going to do the motion naturally. So club face nice and square, just pull both elbows in, so both elbows hit the front of your rib cage. Number 3, we're just going to try and create a nice fluid putting stroke. So it's almost the feeling on the way back, we want to keep our shoulders a little bit more level. Number 3 I see on a regular basis as people tilt their shoulders too much. So what I mean by that is the right shoulder gets too low, left shoulder gets too high. Contribute to us hitting a little bit too much up on the putt, or path working a little bit too much into out. The other end of the spectrum where your left shoulder gets a little bit too low, right shoulder gets a little bit too high, and we struggle with the path working too much across the golf ball due to our shoulders being open. What you do is just put a club on your shoulders and you're just trying to get your shoulders a little bit more level. Just going to try and get into your golf posture. Try and balance this golf club on your shoulders and even keel. Shoulders a little bit more level. That's going to help you putt a little bit more efficiently. With the ball jumping up, the tendency is the ball could be too far back, so just move it a little bit further forward. So the ball position pretty much just sits underneath your left eye. That's a good kind of analogy to use, and it's also a good baseline. If you're somebody that struggles with path issues, forearm and shoulder line, just put both hands in front of you. It's almost the analogy you're carrying a pizza box, so both elbows have to feel like they connect more to the front of your rib cage. Everything's more symmetrical, so put the club out in front of you, pull your elbows in, elbows touch the top of your rib cage, and what we're going to do from there is everything will feel a little bit more connected, arms will feel a little bit more connected to your body. What we're going to do from there is we're going to try and feel like our shoulders are a little bit more level, so don't tilt your shoulders too much where your right shoulder drops, or the other end of the spectrum where your left shoulder drops. Try and keep your shoulders nice and level. Pull backswing thought what you're going to do. Nice low and slow on the takeaway, and then just gentle acceleration on the way through. Any thoughts on that video, feel free to comment below, and also hit the like and subscribe button. If you're looking to improve your game, another added incentive, I'm offering free online golf lessons via the Skillest online coaching platform. If you would be interested in that, please feel free to get in touch. What I'll do is I'll send you a redeemable code. All you need to do is redeem the code, upload 2 videos of your golf swing, and I'll get back to you within 1 working day. I'll attach a link below to the Skillest online platform. Follow me on Skillest, send me a message, I'll send you a code to a free online lesson, upload 2 swing videos, I'll send you back a detailed observation within 1 working day.